All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today for episode 1 of Ladies of the Empire. I have Niners Jess here from East Coast Red and Gold. I have Miss Dina Harvey and Crystal Peachy B. And we're going to put on a nice little show for everybody, talking about the scheduled offensive line, and then we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about the quarterbacks. But first, we're going to start off with just a couple of things. We're going to do a couple of questions. First one is, how have you come to be the 49ers fan you are today? And we'll start with Jess.
Well, it all starts with my dad. My dad watched Joe Montana at Notre Dame, and then right when he got drafted, and the rest is history. So it's me, my parents, my brother, my nephew, my one sister. It's a family thing. That's about it.
Nice. Excellent. How about you, Peachy?
Nice. So my story is I come from a complete like football family, like from Pee Wee League all the way up, and you just it was football. That's what you did, football or baseball, but it was mainly football. And I live in Tennessee, actually from here. Haven't been here my whole life, but I was born here, so I was with my grandparents, and we would watch football. And I was watching the Atlanta Falcons play the 49ers because, as a lot of people don't know, I'm aging myself right now.
It's all right.
They used to play a lot. So, because they were in the same division, and a lot of people don't know that. But so I was watching Joe Montana and completely fascinated and infatuated by him. So from the age of 8, I was grounded in football. From my cousins just teaching me stuff, about and everything. So I was definitely then a 49er since I was 8. And then I had the pleasure of moving to California when my mom got stationed right outside of the area. So that made it even better. My love for 49ers just grew and grew and grew. So that's my story.
Nice. How about you, Dina?
Hell, I'm really going to date myself. It started with my dad, like you, Jess. And it was a rule in my house. My mother used to work for the Eagles back in the 60s. So I had no choice, but I didn't know any better. So it was a rule in my house that you cannot watch football until you have a nap. So I made sure I took my nap, and Dad and I would sit there with our big boxes of Bon-Ton potato chips, chocolate-covered bananas, Pepsis in the glass, 16-ounce Pepsis in the glass, and watch football all day and all night. And, I guess I was the son he was supposed to have. And so every time there was football on, we would both run to the TV and watch regardless of who it was. And then in my teenage years, I followed college football, watched Notre Dame. I'm a big Clemson, Syracuse, and at the time Notre Dame fan. So, and I saw this guy. This was I guess he was like a junior. Yeah. And he amazed me how he could look this way and throw the ball over there. And just drew the defense toward him, but the ball was over there. You missed. So I got hooked ever since. And when he was drafted to the Niners, I was just like, bye-bye Eagle, bye-bye Steelers.
Smart.
Yeah. I think so.
Absolutely. Love that.
Well, I grew up in a very diverse household where I have, unfortunately, Raider fans, Cowboy fans, some who think they're a Rams fan.
Oh
And my
boy.
mom, most importantly, she is the 49er fan. So my mom being the 49er fan, and she has a couple cousins that are diehard 49er fans. So I was able to hang out with the cousins, and they tell me a little bit more about the Niners. And then as I got old enough to actually understand what I was watching when I was watching the game, I was like, this is a really great team. I really like this. And I don't know if it was because of the colors or what the deal was, because at the time when I was started watching, it was about 97, 98. So Steve Young, I think he was the one that was in there and probably at the end of his career. So I didn't really know too much about, what was going on. And then I started getting older, married my husband, Bryant, who happens to be the super fanatic for 49er football. And then I'm like, oh, great. This is excellent. So my mind has just been being enriched with all this 49er information, just listening to him and then watching all the shows. And it's just like, oh, this is great. I've been missing out on this. And, you get around the Raider fans and you're like, oh, that's why you're in the dark hole. You're missing out. But I want to take a second to just say hello to the chat, and we appreciate everybody for showing up.
Yes.
Ty, we see you. Cinnamon Kiss, Korey Davis. We have Jeff, Mr. Brent, David McNiner. If I'm missing anybody, I apologize. I will definitely come back through and check in. And then let's get back to our banners. So question number 2. What football traditions or special plans are you looking forward to this season, Jess?
Well, I always, before the season starts, I have a stencil and I stencil the logo in my backyard. That's usually a tradition of mine, but also just going to games with my mom. And this year we have quite a few lined up, and that's about it. I might have, people over for one of the games, but usually that's how we do things.
Oh, fun.
Awesome.
Peachy?
So, this year I do plan on attending like 2 home games, which is something that I've not, ever done. And we have a lot of East Coast games that I'm planning on trying to go to, especially Pittsburgh and Philly. If not Cleveland, maybe. I actually have relatives that live in Cleveland, so I was thinking about maybe going to that one, but definitely Pittsburgh and Philly. And then haven't chosen my home games yet. I wanted to go to the Dallas one, but we have a work thing and I can't go. And I'm really mad because I wanted to watch us crush them for the 1,000th time. But I can't do that one. So I'm going to I may go to the Thanksgiving game. I'm thinking about going to Seattle. I've never been there. I would love for the 49ers to beat the Seahawks and also eat turkey like at the same time that they're being like, that would be wonderful. Cause I still can't get out of my head, the turkey dinner, the big table and the smiling and talking crap and eating. It just, I've always so the NFL knew what they were doing, setting that game up on Thanksgiving. So
yes, they did.
Yep.
And exactly what they were doing. So it is really time for us to get our revenge on that so that we can be the ones that's sitting at the table, in their house, munching and stuff. Because I hated it. It was, at like Levi's and it was awful. I was really mad about that game. I was so bitter about that game.
Absolutely. How about you, Dina?
Well, the only thing that I have to get ready for is money.
Amen to that.
So I can and a nice boss so I can attend these games.
I second that too.
I want to try to, it's like, please. Definitely want to try to get to the Pittsburgh game.
Yes.
And the one here in Philly, I ain't walking in that stadium. I don't know, but I have issues with that. I have a history with that. So I'll probably go to the tailgate. I'm going to see how much the tickets are, though. I have some friends of mine who said that they'll protect me.
Yes.
But and the only other tradition I have is making sure like all my gear is in order. Like everything is dry cleaned.
Gotcha.
Everything is washed. I get my crusher pillow here. When they get on my nerves, everything is lined up. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice.
That's
Well,
awesome.
During the season, we like to invite family over. We have this big, like 55-inch TV, so we like to invite people to come over to our house, and we'll have a long driveway. So we have barbecues, and my husband has this like Blackstone griddle, so we'll try to cook up something nice. And we just like to invite family over because typically we can't go to the games. We've been to a few games, but that I can't get my money tree to root in the backyard right now. So right now we're just enjoying the 55-inch TV as we watch these games, and it's pretty nice because it's like if you have to drink beer, you got a comfy sofa to sit on, and when you get to the point of you're just mad, you can just excuse yourself to your backyard and yell at something and come on back and enjoy everybody. So, but that's pretty much what I'm looking forward to with Bryant is screaming at the TV with our girls and watching the games and hoping for a great season. And we have all of our jerseys out already, just trying to do like inventory of which ones we're going to wear this season and which ones we're going to buy, because it's cheaper to buy a jersey than it is to buy a ticket these days. So that's what we're going to try to do.
Yep.
It's nice to go to games, but at the end of the day, there's nothing better than sitting in your own home and watching a game
and scratching.
Our first game we went to, it was a Bengals game, and we had this 95 BMW, and we're driving all the way to Santa Clara. First time being in Levi Stadium, and the darn thing decides to blow a radiator hose. And we're about 2 miles away from that El Camino Boulevard to go get to the nearest parts store for just a darn hose. So we walk there, and we finally find the place, and we get the car fixed, and we get in there, and it's just like a few minutes left of the game. I think we get there and it's like 13 or 12 minutes left of the fourth quarter. And the first thing we want when we walk in there, to even before we get to our seats, is where's the beer at? And they stopped serving beer, I think by third quarter, if I'm not mistaken. And they're like, sorry, you're too late. And it's just like, there was nothing more that we wanted than just a cold beer, because we went there to go watch a game start to finish, and it didn't happen for us. And it was one of those games. But we've had better experiences at the stadium after that. But it was just that one where just like, really need to keep serving the beer. Especially if you knew how far we were.
Right. Yes.
And the third question is, if we can meet any one current 49ers player this year, who would it be and why? Jess.
Ooh. That's a tough one, because I've come across a lot of them. I think I'm going to go with Brock Purdy. Just because, like last season was a pretty magical season with him under center. And, just to take a picture with him and, just to say hi. Yeah, I probably wouldn't even get that far because I wouldn't know what to say. That's right, Ty. I've met a lot of Niners multiple times. But yeah, I think it will be Brock Purdy for sure.
Nice. How about you, Miss Peachy?
I think that's so cool, Jess. That's the only reason why I would love to be out there, so that I can meet our players. Because I bet that's so cool an experience to get to meet, them like that. That's cool. But the one that I would go with was Trey Lance, because as people know, I would just want to give him like a huge hug and just tell him, ignore the noise, don't listen to what everybody says and everything. But I just want to give him like a huge, like bear hug, like just this huge hug. So that's who I would choose, and then to just give him some advice.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
And how about you, Miss Dina?
I was thinking about this all day, and it's a tie between Hufanga and Jennings. But my heart's leading toward Jennings. And I'm going to tell you why. He's an unsung hero.
He's a cool dude.
Okay. And I want to know what makes this guy tick. Like he's out there on the field and people forget he's there
Mhm.
until he
Mhm.
scores. And then he's like, aha, you know, I want to know what makes this guy tick. And his athleticism.
Yeah.
You know, what do you do? I mean, I know I'm not going to look like that. Please. But his athleticism, his quiet demeanor, you know, you don't find that too much in football. So I would love to be able to sit down with him and just chat and pick his brain. Yeah. So Juwan Jennings would be mine. Yeah.
So Jennings would be really awesome. That would actually be my second, because Jennings went to the Vols.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad, God rest his soul, who just passed away not too long ago, was a huge Vols fan. Well, a lot of my family is, but you know, huge. And like Jennings was one of his favorite players because of his spirit. It just had, you know, like no matter what happened, he's gonna give you like 110,000%.
Exactly.
Like, each time.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter what happens. And I just remember him because, you know, I used to watch Vols football too, along with my favorite team, the Buckeyes. And so I would just want to meet him because my dad would be like, that's what I'm talking about right there. I got to meet him. So that would definitely be my next one after
Yeah.
that, because so I love Jennings.
Yeah.
Jennings is very inspiring, you know, because when he first started, he didn't come out as strong, maybe because he didn't get the opportunity to show what he was capable of, but just being able to
Right.
watch him and his spirit, and he has definitely just proved himself, just come out on the field and made sometimes these impossible catches, and he's just
Yes.
been like a savior of making us just keep being contenders within, you know, working with what you got, and he just shines. He really does. And he is very inspiring because of the fact of, you know, the different things that he's gone through and the things he's able to just continue to pull through. And, you know, just despite, you know, what other people might do as far as, you know, shadow you, he just comes out there and he's like, hey, don't you want Jennings? Throw me the ball and I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Right.
The one person I would want to, I was thinking about this, and there are two between Trent Williams and Fred Warner, but for sure I would like to say hello to Fred Warner, because when you see him on the field, there's different things about him as far as when he's on that defense, the way he's reading the field, and he's just paying close attention to the offenses. And then when he's just hyping everybody up on the sidelines when they're not on the field, and when he's hyping everybody up when they are on the field, it's nice to see that, because even from when you're watching it on TV, you just kind of get these goosebumps of like, yeah, that's a team leader. You know, just keep your guys in. It doesn't matter if you guys are 10 points behind or 10 points ahead. You just keep them going. And he just seems to be that heartbeat that seems to keep this defense going. And I really appreciate that. And I'd love to shake his hand for that and just tell him, you're great. You're awesome. You're inspiring. And you make me feel like I want to be a defensive player right there next to you.
He and his growth, just like when he first was drafted to now, is just amazing. How he just, you know, after he got his foot wet, he just came in and started taking charge and just started earning all these, you know, accolades and everything. But he just, I'm in so awe of him as to everything that he's, man, that dude right there.
That's a bad dude.
Yes, absolutely. And has mad respect like around the league, which he should, you know, because he's terrorized enough people around the league by now. But yeah, just his growth. That's what just I just admire so much.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And next question is, which game do you see as the most exciting this season, Jess?
I'm going to say the home opener against the Giants. Being from New Jersey and just hearing about the Giants and as well as the Jets, just on a constant basis. I think for me, because I'll actually be there also, is pretty exciting, and hopefully we kick some ass, which I think we will.
The giant ass.
Yes.
We better not lose that home opener.
I hope not.
I tell you
Please.
what. Actually, for me, it would, even though I can't be there, I have to go with Dallas. The fact that we get to play them again in the regular season and the postseason
Mhm.
is I'm looking forward to that game so much.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great game.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Dina?
I want to say Philly, but I'm not. I think that the game that's going to give us run for our money is going to be Cincinnati. I mean, I look at what Cincinnati did last time and the quarterback, and I want to see our quarterbacks go up against something like that. I really do. I mean, because like Cincinnati was boasting about having the best offense and this, and our defense can do this. You ain't seen nothing yet, Cincy.
Yep.
So, but I think that game there is really going to give us. I mean, I want us to win. Don't get me wrong, but I think that's going to give us a real test to see those two young quarterbacks going at it, and we'll see who the best offense is.
That's right.
Yeah.
For me, the most exciting game this season, I believe, is going to be that Thanksgiving Seahawk game. For the simple fact that the sting still reverberates through not only
Yes.
probably the team itself, but the fan base. And that's we're not up against Wilson anymore, So, and even though Gino Smith, he might be a great quarterback, but I'm not exactly sure. I feel in my heart that this could be a win. I believe our offense is going to be able to sweep the division this year. Not everybody can agree, which is fine, but I do believe that the Niners are that hungry that they'll just do it again this year. But I'm looking forward to that Thanksgiving game for sure, because that will be a very exciting game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It sure
and
will.
I think it's time for us to smack Gino on that behind on the ground. Okay. High time.
And the next question will be, which game do we see as the most challenging this season, Jess?
Ooh, I think I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. Because we
Good one.
always seem to have that issue against mobile quarterbacks. Hopefully we clean that up. But I definitely think it's the Baltimore Ravens for sure.
Yeah.
How about you, Peachy?
That would actually be one of mine, but I'm going to go with Philly. I feel like that in the end, it's going to be Niners, Eagles again. And I feel like this is like a preview of what's going to happen in the NFC Championship game. I really don't see anyone, honestly, not being biased, but I just don't see anyone in the NFC that has impressed me at all. But Philly. Because Philly basically has the whole entire Georgia Bulldogs team now on their defense.
Yes. The whole SEC.
Yes, the whole SEC. So I would say that Philly would be the most challenging. I mean, it's even though we have Hargrave and they still don't even know if they've been able to replace Hargrave. So I'm really happy about that. And I know he's happy with, like us, and he's also going to be out for revenge because they didn't pay him what he wanted, which is how he wound up with us in the first place.
Right.
So that is going to be awesome. But I do believe that will definitely be the most challenging game this year. Will be Philly.
How about you, Miss Dina?
I'm going to say Baltimore also, because we don't know what to expect with them.
No,
We never did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's scary. I mean, we've come so close, and out of nowhere, Baltimore comes on and kicks us in the rear. And it was always off of a miscue of ours, something that we did and they capitalized and kept going. I want to see our defense put whoever their quarterback is now. Is it still Jackson?
Mhm.
Okay, he
Lamar
did.
Jackson.
All right, my nephew would be happy. I want us to go up against him. I really do. And that, if we can get that Baltimore Raven off our back after all those years, Jess, if we could just like pluck that Raven, I'm gonna be very happy.
Yep, me too.
Yeah, yeah. So that would
Yeah.
be the one. And it's funny because my nephew was saying that. He's like, Aunt Dina, if my team, he's a Ravens fan. He says, if my team plays your team, you know, I have to kick your butt. I said, oh yeah. Okay. All right, little boy. You know, I was hoping that it would be here, like the 49ers would come to Baltimore, because if that was the case, I would take him, you know,
Mhm.
take him for a weekend and, you know, come down, see the game, and then taunt him the whole way home.
Mhm. That is
Absolutely.
that's fascinating how you broke that down, Dina, for real. That really is, because I that might be like a more important game than Seattle, because I mean, we've managed to beat Seattle every time we played Baltimore as of what, that Thanksgiving game with the brothers
Mhm.
part
Harbaugh.
one
Oh,
before,
Mhm.
right. And we lost that one. And then now I'm talking about the dreaded Super Bowl. That was crazy. So yeah. So you definitely have a point there.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was
absolutely.
one game I actually cried.
Mhm.
I actually cried, you know,
Yeah.
and I couldn't believe it. And then my friend was like, a friend of mine's like, yeah, well, you know, they only did that for Ray Lewis. I'm like, F Ray Lewis. The 49ers lost, bitch. Don't you know? Yeah, that was the only one I really cried on.
Yeah, that was really crazy in the end zone, you know. But it just started with the play calling. I'm not going to get in all that, but it started with the bad play calling anyway, to even put us in that position for that to happen and the refs not call it, you know, that kind of stuff. So, but anyway, that was such a nightmare.
Absolutely. Although that that one is a nightmare. Although I find the Eagles game quite challenging, but I do believe that if our team would have just stayed healthy through that game, I believe the Niners would have had a very serious chance of potentially winning that game, even
Yes.
despite certain things that we were going through.
Mhm.
But I do find that Baltimore is going to be definitely challenging because they have proven to be, you know, holding our number. The Super Bowl loss definitely still stings. And just like that the Turkey Day game, that it's the same thing. It's no, we have to beat this, and until we beat them, it's like they're always going to be, you know, you want this, and just always
Yeah,
taunting us with that. So I'd love to see
yeah.
I'd love to see the Niners just finally just put an end to that saga and just beat the heck out of some Ravens. And then, you know, it's at a home game, so it's not like you have to travel to go home and just win it. That would be an excellent Christmas gift, not only for the team themselves, but the whole fan base.
Yes.
It's like, get the monkey off the back.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Like, nevermore, Raven, nevermore. Everybody starts, you know. Here's the Raven.
So now we can get into our topics. We'll just do the three topics. We'll start with the quarterbacks. And I want to start off with a quote. I was reading from 49ers.com. It's a quote from Kyle Shanahan stating, I know we have two starters on our team right now that I believe we can win with. When you have that situation, you're not that eager to go looking around. Do we think that the Niners are overconfident in themselves, or is this that key to their success? Jess, do we believe that their confidence is the key?
I don't think we're overconfident. I know there's 31 other teams that would love to have the problem that we have. You know, and whoever's under center, you know, if they win, they win. You know, too many people, you know, make it Brock versus Trey versus Brock, even throwing Sam Darnold in the mix. just support whoever's under center.
Exactly.
And support whoever gives us the best chance to win.
Absolutely.
On the back of what Jess said, I mean, there's pretty much not more to say than that. I completely agree with that. I feel like that the most important thing is going to be the quarterback locker room. It's got to be strong and supportive. So she's absolutely right about that. No matter who is out there, there's so much war and craziness going on between this fan base and everything like that, that it's just like, I just want the best person who is able to get the job done and to help this team, win games and to get, to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. That's all that I really care about. And if you have someone out there that is going to do that, then the other quarterbacks just have to stay, just stand pat and support who's out there. And I believe that our locker room, the way it is pretty strong. I mean, I've heard nothing but positive things coming from all the quarterbacks about each other, which is very, very important. So just as long as, that the decision's made and we have the quarterback out there and we start off to a great start, which is what we need to do. It's just something that we hardly ever do, but we just start out to, with wins and get out there and everything, regardless of who it is. We all know what the goal is. It's not to get to the playoffs. It's not to win the division. It's not to get to the Super Bowl. It's to win the Super Bowl, because we've done all those things. So.
Yeah. I agree. And it shouldn't matter who the quarterback is if you're for the team, right?
Right.
The S and F. Okay.
That's right.
Joe Cooley-Rock could be out there, but if Joe Cooley-Rock is going to get us into the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, that's all that matters.
That's right.
But you got to play cohesively as a team. And that's something that is coming back. I want to say it's coming back to the team. It's playing as a unit, playing more cohesively. And the quarterback situation, I'm sick and tired of it. Okay? It's whoever a quarterback is, the whole team knows the ultimate goal. And that's what we should look for. The ultimate goal of this profession, no matter who, as long as it's not me, because, but it shouldn't matter. And as long as the two quarterbacks are in unison and everybody else is in unison, it shouldn't matter. Let's go for it. Get that 6, and that's the way I feel. I'm for the S and the F. Look. We all survived the Chip Kelly years.
Yes.
Amen.
Okay?
And Jim Tomsula.
Oh. It's like, who's our coach this week? So, if we can get past that, and we have, shouldn't matter. Work as a unit. End of sermon.
Amen.
Absolutely. I think sometimes the Niners, they can come off as overconfident, but it's because that a lot of teams and a lot of the people that have talked about the Niners have kind of, in a sense, thought that they couldn't do it. They always had problems. They couldn't make it to the Super Bowl. I mean, just last year, we were looking like we weren't going to make the playoffs, and we went through that tragedy of all the quarterbacks, and we made it all the way up to an NFC championship. So the Niners have always had a lot to prove, not only to themselves, but to the people who just doubted them. And even with the quarterback situation, if we call it that, we don't really have necessarily a situation, because with Jimmy G, moving on, and then the team moving on, we do have 2 great winners. And regardless of how many games Trey has played, the young man has talent. And we, as the people who get to watch and hear, we're not there on the sidelines. And when the coach is saying, hey, there is something to look forward to this with this young man, He is looking better than he ever has before. All we can do is believe in that because we've seen glimpses of that when he actually got to go play on the field. And then Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, coming out and doing specifically what he did at the end of last year. I mean, who does that? We have
Right.
two great stars, and our situation wasn't the defense. Defense has been primed and ready, and offense has the quarterback and the offensive line, and those are the two main things that this team has been developing in. And this year, I believe, is going to be a year that is going to be a force to reckon with, because the Niners they're coming to play and they're coming to win, and I don't believe they're going to take no for an answer this year. I'm looking forward to this year.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And then, so now we have the regular season schedule out. Are we happy with the release of the schedule? Are there games in here that are surprising as far as who we're going to face, or is it basically the same, or is it exciting?
I was shocked that we have the Rams week 2. But I was pleasantly shocked that we had to, because I mean, that will, God forbid something crazy happen at Pitt. I mean, we know that we can handle the Rams, especially this Rams team. This Rams team ain't trying to do nothing this year, by the way. They're rebuilding just like Arizona's rebuilding. So we should just mow right on through that. So with that momentum, that we'll have, after week 2, it's going to be really good. Hopefully that'll carry us to the Giants and, so on and so forth and whatever. We'll see what happens. But that was the only surprise, was the Rams earlier, because they were already early last year and then earlier this year. So
Yeah.
I was surprised about that.
And Miss Peachy, do you already have an early season prediction of wins and losses?
Yes, I actually do. I think the 49ers are going to go 12-5. I'm hoping for 13-4, but I believe that their floor will be 12-5 and that their ceiling will be 13-4. I just know, being a 49ers fan for so many decades, just never get your hopes up thinking that you're just going to go in there and just run roughshod over everybody. It's always something, be it health or just, not getting up for a team under, just overestimate, just anything can happen. So that's what I have.
Absolutely. We'll go to Miss Dina. What do you think? Is it a great season schedule, and what are your wins and losses prediction?
Yeah, I was shocked that there's a lot of East Coast games. I was quite surprised at that. That they're going to be primarily on my side of the territory.
Yes.
But as far as prediction, Miss Peachy, you sounded just like I did last year, because that's what I said.
Yes.
That's exactly what I said last year. I'm gonna be 12-5. I'm looking at 13-4, but they're gonna be 12-5. And what happened? So I'm gonna stick with that because it seemed to do me some good last year. So I'm gonna stick with that for this year. But I'm really pushing for the 13-4.
Right. Me too.
Excellent. And how about you, Jess? Is it exciting this year?
I was surprised that the Giants are the home opener. I also had a feeling they would be. But I also have us going 15-2.
Ooh,
love it.
Okay. Now
I think we go 5-1 in the division. We split it with Seattle. And then our other loss would be to Baltimore, unfortunately.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm pretty optimistic. I know last year I had said that we would go 14-3. So it was a little close.
You were. You're right there.
Yep. But I think 15-2. I'm pretty. I like to be pretty optimistic.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm gonna stick with that.
Excellent.
good.
Yeah, I do this year seem to find it actually kind of exciting. It's been a while since the Niners have to play against the Steelers, and that's pretty interesting.
Yes.
And then I don't think I've seen, or I can't remember anyways, a Giants home opener for the Niners for quite some time. So that's going to be quite interesting. I do have our team going 14-3. I think our losses are going to be to the Browns, to the Eagles, and to the Ravens. But I do believe they can come through this season pretty strong and only with 3 losses.
Nice.
I don't care if we win by 1 stinking point with those damn birds.
Yeah,
Okay.
Right.
0.5. You know, half.
That's right.
Right. Whatever. Yes.
I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be off the leg of Jake Moody. He could just win that game for us, so we could
Yes.
just hold on.
So all the people that were so mad because we got him, now they're already simmering down, because then you have other teams that have come out and talk about, hey, we were going to trade up to get him, and all this stuff. So now that all that comes out, like, oh, well, maybe it wasn't such a bad idea for the 49ers because we needed a kicker. So therefore we got a kicker.
And when he goes and wins us some games.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, it's going to be,
Absolutely.
a lot of people say kickers don't matter, but it does matter when, the game-winning points is off that kicker's leg.
Yes.
Come on, look at Dallas. Look at what happened with Dallas.
Yes.
I mean,
It definitely matters.
yeah. I'm just glad he didn't go there.
Absolutely. Oh, gosh. That's, and Robbie, he's leaving some big shoes to fill. He wasn't perfect, but he's leaving behind some big shoes to fill. And, so far it's training camp, but the things that I'm seeing in training camp off of Jake Moody's leg seems to be very promising. And there is a good reason, look at the Raiders. They picked Jankowski with the first round pick, and he did great for that team. So, there's nothing wrong with picking a kicker, especially when you need him this coming up year. He's not going to sit there and simmer and learn from anybody on the bench. He's game ready. He's got to come out, and sometimes you need to get those extra points somehow or another.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's going to be interesting.
That's true.
And now, how about the offensive line? I know since McGlinchey has left, there has definitely been talk, and then maybe not as much talk as we'd like to know of what we're going to be doing as far as filling in those positions. McKivitz's name has been brought out there to potentially fill in that right tackle spot. How do you think this team is with filling out that offensive line? Do you believe they have all the right players plugged in? Are we still searching with the camp bodies that we're continuing to look through and the rookies? Start with Jess.
Well, John Lynch actually had said that last season they were trying to trade Mike McGlinchey. So they were definitely comfortable with Colt McKivitz going in there. And I always say, trust the Shanna plan. So if they're comfortable, then I'm comfortable. We'll see what happens, but I'm again pretty optimistic about that as well. Try to be anyway.
Excellent. Absolutely. How about you, Miss Peachy?
I'm really, really glad that you are, because you need to give me some of that. Because that is literally the reason for my score prediction, is because this O-line on that side is just, it just makes me so nervous. Now, there are rumors, I like to saturate and go around like to all the NFL pages and stuff. There's a rumor that Philly's probably going to move on from somebody who could help us a whole lot. Because they, have like all these guys. They just have a bunch of guys. And we know how amazing their O-line is. So, so these guys that are just backing up the other ones, believe that they may be moving on for something. So I have a feeling that the 49ers are going to get involved in that really quick if that happens. And they do, just cut, people and they're just out there, just doing it, whatever. Because I would love to have just a piece of the O-line that Philly has going on right now, because those guys are tough. They really are. And I feel like that if we can do that, I'd be a little bit more confident. But I'm trying. I mean, Breezie and everyone is trying to get me to be like, look, it's going to be okay. You promise it's going to be okay. But yeah, I just got to. I'm still got so much apprehension about that really too right now.
Well,
Yep.
it's understandable. I mean, especially given what has transpired.
Yes.
You don't know how many times I wanted to jump through the TV and be like, "Will you get that clap away? I'll do it.
Yes.
You can't knock him downhill. I will. I'll bite him on the ankles." But it's just like I'm hoping. I want to be like 85% positive that this right side is going to be covered
All right.
and it's going to work out. So, but there's still that apprehension from last time. But yeah, I think they got their act together. They might still look. They still might not look. Let me back up. They still might look around to see
Right.
who they could get, like as a, put them in as a surprise type of thing. But I'm like 85% confident. 15%, you gotta work on me.
Yeah, it's
I agree.
It's dangerous.
tell you.
It's dangerous.
It is.
Because it gets my heart palpitating,
Yes. It causes like many heart attacks during the game. Like you have strokes, heart attacks, and everything before it's in. Because
I got all these hats in this room, and you know how many hats I threw at the TV.
And a lot of the problem has been with our quarterbacks is the line not being as strong as we needed it to, as far as just giving the quarterback just those extra few seconds that they needed to make the decision, whether it is getting through an indecision or just feeling in the pressure a little bit better. Because I've understood, when you're watching, somebody like Gina, and you could tell when he was under pressure in that happy feet dance. And you could tell when all these other quarterbacks get under the pressure. But, Purdy and Lance seem to be able to decipher between the pressure a little bit easier, as far as like, just don't forget who your targets are. If you have to check it down, but just try to make something happen positively instead of negatively, or taking that chance of losing the ball. And there was times where, McGlinchey, and no disrespect to McGlinchey, he is definitely, one of the best right tackles in the league, apparently. But when you see a big guy like McGlinchey get laid out on his back, that doesn't make it feel very good, as far as when you're thinking of the situations that seem to always happen to the quarterbacks of, now there's a hole and there's not enough time, because either the quarterback has seen that hole's opened up, or they haven't even noticed yet. And by the time that they notice, he's already getting hit, and bad things happen when the quarterback gets hit. And we just need to try to make sure that the line stays strong enough, at least to hold, so it gives that quarterback the confidence that they need to be able to deliver the ball down the field. So we don't have to have any recurring situations as far as the injuries, or, any of the defenses trying to strip the ball from us, because we're not terrible at losing the ball. But the Niners have a situation where they end up finding themselves not being able to convert on a 3rd down or 4th down conversion. And we don't want to keep having to punt the ball back. We need to, not get to the 40 or 30 yard line and that close to making a score, just to, turn around and have to deliver the ball back to the opponent. We want to try to at least score something with every possession of the ball, whether it be on the kicker or touchdown for sure. But yeah, the line is a little scary, but McKivit's name has been one of those names that's been brought out there and for quite some time. So it's not like somebody that they're just kind of like, oh yeah, we're going to try him, because he's actually been thought to have been plugging in that position for a long time. So, if the coaches for this amount of time have believed in McKivitz, then it is a good thing to think that, hey, they see something in him that's going to be reassuring enough to know that, hey, the McGlinchey situation is fine. They're going to take care of that right side, because they understand the Niners have went through many seasons of almost the same situations happening. And the only way to get out of a reoccurring circle is to put a line through it and try to go either the other way or draw something different, because we can't keep doing the same thing over and over again every year. We have to, we want to get not only to the Super Bowl, but we want to win it as well. And stronger line is going to definitely help, because I think that was just our only weakness, is the stronger line. And it seems like our safeties they're starting to get a little better. And then now we have Wilkes. So that's going to be actually interesting for the defense, because instead of trying to go and tackle these guys, they can actually try to maybe gain more picks for us, which can then turn into more points scored for us. And that only helps the offense when they're struggling. Because, anytime when this team can score, regardless of its offense or defense, it's going to help. And I'm a little nervous about the line, but I'm not as nervous as I was once before. And I don't believe I want to see anybody getting body slammed that's supposed to be on the line trying to hold back that defense.
Yeah, exactly. It's like our Achilles heel,
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I definitely want to reach out to this chat, because we definitely have quite a few people in the chat.
Yes.
For everybody in the chat, please make sure you check out in the description. I have these lovely ladies' information on where you can find them. Jess from East Coast Red and Gold. Miss Peachy, you can find her on Twitter or on YouTube when she's working with Wayne Breezie, Nitty Gritty Niners. And Miss Dina, you can always find her in a couple of shows such as Lockdown Korey Davis, Beto's show, Niner Sickness. But let's see who we have here. And I know we have over 160 comments in here. Wow. So Jeff, wow. Bryant, Cinnamon, Ty, we have Monica, we have Debbie Ryan. Oh, that's great. We have Bebop, we have Mike O.
Bebop.
Thank you, everybody. David McNiner.
Hey, David.
Wow.
What's going on, guys?
I believe I saw John V. There's John V. Hey, John. Let's see. Who else do we have here? We have No Border Sports Ryan. We have Nothing But Niners. Hey, Mike.
Okay.
We have Randy Daytona.
Randy.
Oh, man, this list goes on and on. Primo. Oh, my goodness. Well, we definitely have a fire chat today. We appreciate everybody for coming. Again, check out the description before you leave. If you haven't already, hit that like, subscribe, share with a friend. We like to try to do this, maybe twice a month, depending on everybody's schedule. You ladies make definitely a great panel. It's definitely full of great and positive insight. And I'd love to be able to do this again with you ladies, because this is definitely a fire show. I really like it. And I'm definitely looking forward to what this season has to bring for us. And I know just as soon as we get closer and closer to the season actually starting, we'll start getting busier. We'll have definitely new things to talk about every week.
Mm-hmm.
And
absolutely.
hopefully by then a lot of our unanswered questions or unsure thoughts will definitely be smooth and reassured.
5%.
Yeah.
My tummy can
once
settle down from the nerves. Yeah. Maybe the O-line thing will be better, and I'll feel more secure about it. We also had I didn't know whether you mentioned Wayne Breezie or not, stopped in. He's actually at a gig, so he stopped in, so that was really cool for him to take time out to do that.
Oh, thank you.
I do appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you so much, Wayne Breezie. I tried to go up to the top of my list, and there's just so many. My computer is all like,
there's a bunch. Yeah.
Thank you, Wayne Breezie. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we have a lot of superstars in here.
I know. You do.
Check out the beauties, Yeah. The 49er beauties.
Well, is there anything else you ladies want to?
Nothing finer.
Is there anything? Oh, there he is, Wayne Breezie. Thank you. And then Monica. All right. Now I can get to the top of my list here. Well, thank you, everybody. You definitely, the panel's fire, the chat's fire. Sometimes you can't have a great show without having a little bit of both. And I do definitely appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been in here for just a little bit over an hour. Do we want to give our closing thoughts for now?
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
Do you have any closing thoughts? All right.
It's all about the logo on the side of the helmet. So support it and go Niners.
Right.
So
absolutely.
To piggyback off that, it definitely is about the logo. All this fighting and craziness. At the end of the day, it's just about the 49ers. It's been just about the 49ers for me since 1980. And I've been through everything. Dina, we've been through everything. The highs, the lows, the the lows.
Oh, yeah, oh.
Everything, and the highs of getting us back to the Super Bowl. And that's like when we talk about getting a Lombardi, like that's just the standard here. That's what every year is about. Other teams are like, oh, you guys should be grateful that you just made it to the NFC Championship. No, because that's not the standard here. The standard is trophies. So hopefully we will get a trophy. And I'm hoping that Jess and her optimism with the record would be great. I would love that.
Yes.
Putting all those positive vibes out there.
Yes. Keep those
Yes.
positive vibes
Yes.
flaring out there. But the chat was great, and I appreciate all the support. We all do appreciate all the support from you guys. There are some women that do know a lot about football, unbeknownst to some people. Not anyone in the chat, but I'm talking about people around that try to tell people to not say this and don't speak about this and all those different things like that. So
Yeah.
I had a blast.
Yeah, I had a blast too.
Yeah, it was fun.
Thank you for the invite. But yeah, it's all about the team. It's all about the logo. And go Niners. We're going to do this. We're going to do this cohesively. We're going to tighten up that right side.
Amen to that.
We're going to crush the birdies.
Yes.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
All the birdies that we played this year.
All the birdies. Oh, the tweets. Yeah, but yeah, it's all, and Miss Peachy, 1979 for me. Okay. So yeah,
Yep.
they do the highs and lows, and I should have been Mrs. Joe Montana. Yeah. Like, call me Joe.
And I do appreciate every single one of you coming on. There are definitely a lot of ladies out there that love to speak football, and it's nice when, regardless of if you're with a group of guys or a group of women, but it is nice to know that you can get a positive group of women talking about something that they all collaboratively share, something positive with. Everybody loves the 49ers. And it's important to always keep faithful to the Niners because there's going to be years where, they are some low years, but, to keep the faith, because that's what makes football really interesting is at the end of the day, you really don't know what to expect. You can think
Right.
because the last game, this game, they're going to play something similar, but then they could just blow it out of the park and just totally stomp on a team. And you're like, wow, where did that come from? And that's what really makes it exciting. And to be able to have a group of women like you, to be able to just positively talk about it just keeps it so much fun. And I do appreciate it because that's what keeps me as a Niner fan is when you have people who make you feel good about being a fan and you can share the same optimism with it. Just
Right.
it makes
Yeah.
each year that much more fun.
And
Miss
can I say this real quick? Your shorts are amazing, Tony. So anyone who is not checked out her shorts, I've always wanted to do stuff like that, and I'm like, I don't even like the way that I sound, so I will probably never do those. But let me tell you, girl, you be killing those shorts. So if you haven't went to watch the YouTube shorts, you have to check them out because they are fantastic and well done.
I appreciate that. And I'll definitely have more to come because the more I seem to make them, the more better I get at it. And just the more fun I have.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And that is so fun.
And Miss
But
Peachy,
I do appreciate it.
I am a Tennessee fan too.
Awesome.
So
Yep. Love that.
I've only been to 10 when Brian and I went to for just 2 years, and we went to Pickett State Park, and it was wonderful to see that side of the United States. So it's just like, wow, I'm Stockton, California, born and raised, and I've lived here most of my life and ended up right back in the same place. So when I've got to go see the East Coast of the world, I'm like, wow, this is really cool. This looks almost better on this side of the country than it does on the West Coast. But with that being said, I do want to thank everybody. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. I will definitely reach out to you so we can do this again. Thank you, chat.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everybody. Please like and subscribe. Check in the description. You will find links and where to find these lovely ladies at so you can get more of this great concept of the information that they have to share. And just keep out for the next notification for when Tony Coke goes live with the Ladies of the Empire.
All right.
And thank you, everybody. Have a great evening.
Peace.
Go Niners.
That's right.
Yes, Niners.